Today we're kind of focusing on the entire theme of Common Vision, what it means to be a leader, to get people together on a common vision, moving in the same direction. There's an old Haitian proverb that goes like this: a dog has 4 legs, but it doesn't go down 4 roads at the same time. Okay? If a dog tries to go 4 ways at the same time, it just falls on its stomach, right? The only way the dog can move is when all 4 legs are moving in the same direction. That's really what the Common Vision is all about, getting everything moving in the same direction. In order for that to happen, there's some things that you have to do and develop as a leader. So, what I want to start out with is, first of all, who wants to volunteer and help me out for just a second? Okay? Let's go back there in the back. Come on down here. Yeah. All right, Jared, you an artist? You an artist?
Maybe you should have chose someone else.
All right. No, if you're not an artist, I chose a perfect guy. It matches your tie. You got a red to match your tie. Now, what I want you to do is I'm going to give you this entire board right here. I want you to actually just kind of put it right in the middle, use the middle section. I want you to put 3 different marks up on this board. It can be a line, a squiggly, something like that. Just, random lines. Don't draw a picture or anything, but just put 3 different lines, spread them out, and kind of put 3 different marks on that board. Okay? All right, let's give Jared a hand, I think. All right. Now, are y'all familiar with the concept between left brain versus right brain thinking? The difference between it? Okay, now some of you may be sitting there looking at your neighbor wondering, I'm not sure they have a brain, but they do. And it has both a left and a right brain, right side. Now, if I were to ask you the question, 2 plus 2 equals? 4. Okay, you just use your left brain. It's a linear thought process. 2 plus 2 equals 4. They go together. And on the linear thought process, any question that you ask is a right or wrong answer. Okay? You can grade it. That's why you're primarily taught left brain thinking in school, because you can test it, you can grade it. There's an easy way to keep track of it. Now, if I were to ask you, red plus camel equals? Squirrel. Okay, most common answer is a red camel. Squirrel you don't hear very often, but a red camel is the most common answer. But it doesn't really matter what you answer. If whatever you answer, you have to figure out creatively, how does red and camel go together? And that's your right brain process to really develop how these 2 things go together. Now, what's interesting about that is, let me tell you this one story. I was doing the same illustration with a bunch of elementary kids, and I asked them the same question. Red plus camel equals, and there's a young girl sitting on the front row, and she immediately responded, desert roadkill. Okay, creative answer. We'll have there might be some issues there. We'll talk later. But it doesn't matter what you answer. You have to creatively come up with a way to put those 2 together. Now, what's important to understand is that right brain thinking is very important when it comes to you being a leader. Left brain thinking is also very important. What you find when you look at statistics across the corporate world is predominantly left brain thinkers accelerate in their careers very quickly. That's why schools focus so much on left brain thinking. They're the ones who go in and they accelerate throughout their career very quickly. But what you'll find is you'll find that left brain thinkers tend to get up to the mid-management levels. And when they get to the mid-management levels, they begin to struggle. They hit a ceiling and they can't figure out, why can't I go above and beyond that? When you look at CEOs in America, chief executive officers, the heads of companies, what you find is that 90% of those are dominant right brain thinkers. They're creative problem solvers. And what you'll find is that right brain thinkers, dominant right brain thinkers, really struggle in entry-level positions. But once they get to mid-management, they accelerate very quickly to the heads of their companies. Okay? Now, why is that? Well, it's very simple. Left brain thinking is like 2 plus 2 equals 4. There's a right and a wrong answer. So a left brain thinker, when you're coming into an entry-level position, what's your responsibilities? Your responsibilities are budgeting budgets, balancing a cash drawer, things like that. There's a right and a wrong answer, right? You count cash in a specific way. You process the information in a specific way. I'm a dominant right brain thinker, which means that when you bring me in and you tell me, okay, here is how you balance out your cash drawer, my mind, instead of going, okay, that makes sense, my mind goes, I bet you there's a more creative way to do this. Okay? And that doesn't work real well when it comes to balancing a cash drawer, right? And so you can see there's a huge difference between them. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because most of your schooling, most of your education has been the development of left brain thinking. But it's very important as you as a leader to develop your right brain thinking, that creative problem solving aspect. Okay? This is a right brain thinking development exercise. I have 4 daughters. Yes, 4 daughters. Pray for me. Pray often. Okay? They are ages now 21, 20, 17, and 15. Okay? For a period of about a year and a half, I had 4 teenage daughters in the house at the same time. Okay? And so when we were growing up, we traveled a lot. And this is an exercise that we would do when we traveled. And they would put 3 marks on a piece of paper. And then the idea behind the exercise is no matter what 3 marks you put on a piece of paper, no matter what 3 marks you put on a piece of paper, you can always create a face using those 3 marks. Okay? So, almost any 3 marks that you put on a piece of paper. No, I'm teasing. All right, let's see if we can create a face using this. All right, so we got a face out of it, right? Okay? We got a face. You see how we did it, right?